Okay, so I've been meaning to make this video for a little while, just because I couldn't find any decent videos of it out on the YouTubes. Um, so let's just get into it. So the first thing I wanted to mention is that you want to make one of each character. You might only want to play one character to start with, but when you're crafting new weapons, you're picking up new weapons, one of the things you'll be gated by is by this refresh on the... I have keyboard shortcuts, but you might have to run over here and speak to this guy at the Armory Exchange. I wanted to mention Sire Milk. So this chap over here, when you complete these contracts, you get whatever this currency is called. And when you get that, you can exchange that for weapons in here. You can see all of these weapons are rated 500. This basically means that these weapons are Auric ready weapons, and they are Havoc ready once you have taken the time to unlock the right blessings and perks for them. Now, how does the blessing system work? So the blessing system works by going into your inventory. I have it on Quickslot I, and going to a weapon and leveling it up. So you level it up just by using it, and you'll get a certain amount of progress every mission that you complete. And I have a weapon here that I have gotten all the level to mastery 20, but haven't unlocked any of the perks here. And you can see that there are these 5 markers here. You unlock a marker by picking a blessing, and you need to get, you can see here I can't get the level 2 of the blessing because I haven't gotten all 5 markers. I go ahead and get all 5 markers. It'll take me up so I can now get the blessing level 2 of each perk. Now, each blessing, sorry. Now, you will get enough blessings by... you will get enough blessing points by getting it to level 20, so don't worry about which ones that you pick per se, as long as you're planning on getting the mastery all the way to the top. In order to get the level 4 mastery of a perk, which you will, mastery of a blessing, which you will want, you will need to spend a certain amount of points. This will vary depending on the amount of blessings available to each weapon. And you can see here that if, let's say, I only wanted 2 blessings, which is pretty likely. Like if you go on to, there's a website called Gameslantern. If you just type in Darktide guides on Google, it will show up most likely. But Gameslantern is the one that I know of. There used to be another one. I don't know if that exists anymore. But let's say I only wanted puncture to level 4 and run and gun to level 4. Then I don't need all of the perks, but you can see here that you get perks for hitting certain levels. So each level of mastery will give you a certain reward, and most of the time it is blessing points for you to spend in here, and you only need to get to level, something like level 16, I think, to unlock to unlock level 4 perks. So you don't need to get to level 20 to start applying level 4 perks. Level 4 blessings. I'll keep mixing that up. And then once you've, let's go ahead and unlock all of these. Now, whilst you level up, you'll also get the ability to apply level 4 perks. Again, if you want to know which perks to pick, I'm not going to tell you exactly what perks or blessings to pick for which weapon. Just go to Gameslantern, pick a build. Most of them are fairly min-maxed. You'll see some variety, like you might see a bolt pistol with 2 perks on there, and you might go to another build and it'll have a different 2 perks. Don't worry about it too much. You'll get a feel for it over time. Just allow Gameslantern to take the job of deciding which perks that you need off your hands. The blessings that you need off your hands and perks. It will demonstrate the perks as well. Now, once you have a level 20 mastery, and again, Sire Milk's weapons are a great way to get you mastery, because these are very strong weapons. The min-maxed weapons will have the correct dump stat, and what I mean by dump stat is there will be a certain one of these stats. You can see that they have a certain percentage. And 80 is the maximum. There will be certain perks that you want here at 80, and there will be certain perks that you do not need to have at 80. And again, Gameslantern will demonstrate to you which of those perks ideally you would have at a minimum level 60 and the others at level 80. There are some cases where there's odd break points, so normally this is more applicable with ranged weapons. So you might, depending on your clip size, you might actually not need 80 ammo. So you might be okay having, say, 70 ammo and 70 in something else, so you get a little extra of whatever else is dumpable stat. Usually you want your damage to be up there, you want your stopping power to be up there. Again, I'm not going to go through exactly what these do. Gameslantern is your reference point. Okay. Now, once you've got your blessings unlocked, you've got your perks unlocked, so you've got you're at level 20 mastery for a particular weapon. You can take the weapon to Hadron over Myon, and I've probably got a bolt gun in here that needs upgrading, and yeah, a bolt pistol that needs upgrading. You can see here that I've got a dump stat of 60. I'll talk a little bit about how I've got the dump stat in a minute. I'll cover that last. I'll cover that when I go back to the weapons armory discussion. So I have a blue weapon here that I've bought. I want to use this weapon, so I am going to consecrate it. Now that will take it up from blue through the various, I suppose, rarities. There's probably a specific name, but so I will maximize this. I get it to the orange level. Then I can empower it. So you can see here that I've bought it from the weapons armory. It's not level 500. It's not power rating 500 or whatever the correct phrasing is for it. So in order to increase that, I can empower here, click, hold. Now this is very expensive, particularly for the plasteel. I think this one's plasteel and this one's diamantine, but it could be the other way around. So yeah, it's 70 per time. That's a lot. You'd probably be lucky to get one level out of one game, or etc. You might get a couple of levels out of one game. Like, it's not, you do need to kind of worry about collecting this stuff. So you can see I've held down the button and I've maximized the stats. Now it's filled out to the percentage, the maximum percent that it can be. Can't take it any further past the maximum percent here. Then I can go to refine and I can choose a correct perk. There's no point spending materials on getting any perk other than the level 4 perks. And flak damage is pretty common. Again, I'm not here to tell you exactly how to make the perfect bolt pistol. I'm just doing this for demonstration purposes only. So I'm going to give this flak, and unyielding is another fairly common one. Sometimes carapace, sometimes maniac. I'll stick maniac on there, and then I will give it some blessings. So you'll go into here, you'll select the level 4 blessings, and I will apply what looks good in here. Surgical tends to be quite good, but I don't know if I'm going to be aiming down sight all that much. Toughness is fairly mediocre, probably don't want that. Staggered enemies might be quite good. I know there's a mark of this pistol that can stagger. Critical reach, bleed tends to be quite good. I'll get bleed, and I will get execution, whatever. So there we go. Now I have a quote-unquote min-maxed weapon. Again, if I was actually doing this to get the perfect bolt pistol, I would go to Gameslantern. I would find out exactly what perks other people are picking, which blessings other people are picking, and I would apply those instead. And I'll probably go back and do that later. Okay, so now that I've talked about how to get your weapons up to power level 500, and again, this is very resource intensive. It's not going to be one game I can get one gun up to max. You're going to have to grind a little bit. You're going to have to pick and choose which weapons you level up. You're going to have to play the game. So Sire Milk's weapons will give you a weapon which has the maximum percentage that he allows you. So if I go back to Sire Milk, you see you've got 80 damage, 80 finesse here, 80 cleave damage. This is probably a pretty damn good weapon. Blessings are only level 3, which is a bit of a pity, but if you haven't picked up the weapon before, you won't have the choice. So again, Sire Milk is going to give you a very good point to jump from, and you are limited on whatever this resource is, and each of your characters will have missions. If you see something odd in here, like complete a mission, like collecting grimoires, just replace it. The first one's free. You can't, and after that, which one do I want to get rid of here as a demonstration? These are all pretty damn good, to be honest. Let's do this one because it's only a small amount of resource. I'm going to replace this. Costs me nothing. Boom, I got terrible one. I'm never picking up 16 grimoires or scriptures. I might pick up one scripture a day, something like that. So let's replace that. 2,500 monies. It's not a lot of money. It'll be cheaper to do this than trying to buy the specific weapons, right? So I'm going to replace this task. Killed 1,000 dregs of range, whatever. Good. It's 530. That's a lot. Okay, so let's talk about how you want to obtain weapons outside of Sire Melk. So we've gotten a weapon from Sire Melk. We have played some games with it. You might be mastery level 16, mastery level 19, something like that, and you're at the point where you have the blessings and you're ready to get a weapon and min-max it. So what you'd want to do is you want to go to the armory here, and you want to be looking through these weapons for a weapon with the correct dump stat. Now, in the armory, it appears like, at least in my experience, you're more likely to get these. How do you describe it? Like, there'll be one stat which is level 60 and the rest of them will be 80, whereas the Sire Melk stat tends to have a more even spread. And generally speaking, when you're min-maxing, you don't want or need a perfect spread. So this Blaze Force sword is probably quite a good example here. Now, often, as a rule of thumb, mobility is a good dump stat, and this weapon doesn't have 60 in mobility, which may be the correct dump stat for this weapon. I don't know. Again, if I wanted to know, I would go to Gameslantern. But it has warp resistance at level 60, and warp resistance is not a warp resistance is a good stat on Psyker to have at a minimum, because there are certain perks in the tree which increase the damage of the weapon depending on your peril. And warp resistance, it will reduce the amount of peril that a weapon will produce. So actually reducing the amount of peril that the weapon produces might allow you to do more actions which produce peril, but you often, to maximize your damage on Psyker, you want to be at high levels of peril. So I could buy this. It's level 380. I don't have the mastery on the Blaze Force sword. I haven't really been using them, so I'd have to go away and get the things, get the blessings, and then I can go to Hadron and refine the weapon. But what you will want to do is, whenever this resets, ideally you will be switching between all of your characters and getting one of each type of weapon with the correct dump stat. And when I say type of weapon, I will just show you my inventory for a second, because I fell into this trap. Okay, you can see here I have crap tons of weapons, and you can see mobility 60, mobility 60, mobility 60, mobility 60. Like, I have tried to pick the ideal dump stat, and I have gotten a weapon of each type with that dump stat. And actually what I've gone and done is I've gone and bought a weapon of each mark with the correct dump stat. But you absolutely do not need to do this, and I did not know this. But if you click here on marks, you can switch between the different marks. Boom. I now have a Mark 7 tactical axe. Boom, I have a Mark 4 tactical axe. And so you can freely do that at any time. So you do not need to have one of each mark. You just need a tactical axe, a assault chainsword, a Blaze Force sword, at least two to start with, Eventually you might want to have multiple of the same weapon so that you can play around with different blessings and different perks, and different weapons with different blessings and different perks may fit into different builds. Generally speaking, people have, going back to Gameslantern, there will be a particular mark of a sword or a particular mark of a weapon that is generally favoured. So you can just pick that one. Now, something to mention about the marks is that, as you can see here, you need a specific mastery level in order to be able to change between them. Now, level 7 is nothing. Some of them are level 3. You're going to get level 3 mastery after one game. This is probably 2 or 3 games with the sword, and then I can just freely switch between the marks. Okay, but yes, so you want to be switching between each character every time this refreshes, and you want to be looking through here and getting the correct dump stat on the correct kind of weapon. Now, I think that leaves only one thing for me to talk about, and that is Curios. So again, this is something you want to be checking on each of your characters, and again, Gameslantern is going to tell you what Curios are best for each build. Generally speaking, you want to get the easiest thing to aim for, but you know, if you're following along with what I'm saying, you're going to Gameslantern, you're checking this stuff, you want to be picking up Toughness Curios. And the Toughness Curios, the maximum percentage on a Toughness Curio, unfortunately I don't have one here, is 17. 16 Toughness is fine. 16 Toughness is very common, and once you've got 3 of those, you're only missing 3% Toughness. It's not going to, you know, you can go into Havoc 40 with 16 Toughness. You don't need 17% Toughness for that. But what I will mention is that there are some things to keep an eye out for. So you want to be looking for your 17% Toughness, because those are rare. And you want to be so here you can see you get +3 max stamina. I'm actually going to buy this because I don't think I have a +3 max stamina curio. And sometimes you might want 2 Toughness Curios and 1 Stamina Curio. Here you can see there's maximum health. The maximum max health you can have is 21%. So it's good to jump on each character and see if there is a curio in the shop which is min-maxed, just in case you want it down the line. You want to test it. You find a build that uses one. So you want to be keeping an eye out for +3 max stamina. You want to be keeping an eye out for 21% max health, and you want to be keeping an eye out for +3 stamina. And then, if you, just I guess for completion's sake, let's say I wanted to refine my curios. Let's say, okay, here's my +3. Okay, I've got 2 here. I'm going to consecrate. Boom, boom. It's now orange level. And then I'm going to refine it. And with Curios, you only add perks. I want a level 4 perk. Very generally speaking, there's 2 kind of given, and that is combat ability and toughness. And then you've got a third flex spot. A lot of people are taking revive speed. Some people take block efficiency. Some people take stamina regen. There's some use cases for max health, but also you get these resistances down here, and the resistances are quite nice. It's like 20% is a lot, so often people will take 20% gunner resistance. Okay, I think that is everything that I wanted to cover. Again, there are a few things here that I didn't know about. I didn't know about the marks. I hadn't found great videos explaining exactly where to find the correct information. Gameslantern. I couldn't. There weren't great videos. There was no information. I don't like. Maybe there's something in the tutorial. I didn't play through the tutorial when I started playing again. Maybe there's something in there that tells you that you can switch marks. Nobody told me that this was possible, and I wasted a lot of resources buying a bunch of weapons that I'm never going to use. I've even, you can see here, I've got two Blaze Force swords. I mean, luckily here I haven't actually maximized this one and then put perks on it, because that would be very expensive. But I have on other characters with other weapons, and that was a complete waste. Hopefully somebody finds this useful. I would have liked it. And yeah, enjoy your games.